Dear learners, in continuation to our previous session on local bodies and tourism, in this session we are going to study about the reasons for supposedly the poor performance of local bodies in promoting tourism. Then we will discuss something about the improvement measures, what are the measures that can be taken to improve the performance of local bodies. And lastly, we will also discuss about the Local Agenda 21, what the local bodies are supposed to do, and that is an international convention which has been accepted by majority of the countries. Now, to begin with the reasons for poor performance, before pointing out the reasons for poor performance of local bodies in promoting tourism, it would be appropriate if we bring to light some of the issues which do establish the need for improvement of local bodies in tourism promotion and development. So, the various needs for the involvement of local bodies in tourism promotion and development are as follows. If a tourist resort is promoted, or in other words, proper conditions are made by the local bodies to attract tourists to a place of prominence, failing which within its jurisdiction, it will provide a sense of pride to the locals. Tourists coming from a number of distant places in and outside the country would be able to know of the place. Local elected body is a body of, for and by the inhabitants of the local area. An increase in tourism would bring direct and indirect benefits to the local inhabitants in the shape of earnings from marketing, sales of eatables, sale of locally manufactured goods, or by way of service charges, etc. Thus, the entire tourism gamut, the entire tourism industry, tourists coming into that place will give a huge boost to the local economy, and it will lead to a rise in the level of standard of living of the local population. Now, in today's context, a major reason is to enhance the suitability and the sustainability capacity of the destination and check what are termed as the negative impacts of tourism. We cannot promote mass tourism, but local body has to take care that mass tourism is not promoted. The tourists coming into a local area, if it is a fragile area or it is an environmentally fragile area, then the number of tourists coming to the local area has to be regulated. So, we should not encourage tourism wherein it brings in more negative impacts and less of the positive impacts. So, we have to maintain a balance that we do earn money, but we do not kill the destination itself. We have to sustain the destination, the local culture, the flavor, the customs, traditions, everything is a tourism product. So, we have to safeguard that we do not fall into the trap of imitation effect of tourism, or we do not fall into the trap of the inflationary effect of tourism. Tourism per se should be beneficial for the local society and not be a detrimental in the long run. Now, for attaining some of the benefits as discussed above in the earlier session and this session as well, the local bodies have to maximize the use of their own resources. That means local resources should be promoted more rather than importing the resources from outside, because in case of import of resources, the benefit, the economic benefit will go to the area from where you are importing the resources. So, thereby it will be a leakage of income for the local area. Now, looking from another end, providing for basic facilities like water, better sanitation, eradication of communicable diseases, etc. are the obligatory tasks of the local body in relation to their own people. Whether tourism is there or not, these are the compulsory tasks that the local body has to perform. So, therefore, by doing so, they are not in any case directly attempting to promote tourism, but by not doing so, it certainly directly affects tourism. If there is a spread of communicable disease, there is lack of sanitation, there is no potable water, then of course tourists will come to know about it, and it will hamper the flow of tourists to that particular place. Now, some reasons are, it would be appropriate to point out some of the major reasons for the local bodies not doing so, because this is primarily their job, but if it's not being done, there are certain reasons behind that. So, the reasons for poor performance are, number one, poor finances. Now, it is very difficult to provide for any service or to undertake any function without proper finances available. Unfortunately, Indian local bodies have always been wanting of adequate and required amount of finances. There is always a scarcity of finances. The things to be done are more in comparison to the money that is available. So finances are not in consultation, or I would say in comparison with the jobs to be done, finances are always less. Now this dissuades the bodies to take up maintenance as well as developmental tasks. Many a time the bodies do not even have enough funds to maintain the already existing things, leave apart the developmental tasks. So furthermore, there is a reutilization of the funds also. Many a times there is underutilization. The finances available are not put to utilization on the required areas of priority. Money is spent, but it is not spent on the priority area. It is spent somewhere else wherein it is not bringing the desired results. Maybe already upgraded thing is further being upgraded, but a thing which needs an upgradation, the money is not put in over there. Now second point in this is lack of incentive. Tourists approach a particular tourist spot or resort in a city, town or village. They spend heavily over there on account of staying as well as eating. So tourists have to spend money on their stay and also on their fooding. Profit earned through it goes to the agency concerned, whether it is a private agency or a government agency, and no share from that is given to the concerned local body. Now this is a cause of worry. Local bodies have always been projected this saying ki we are to maintain everything, but we do not get any share in the earnings from the good maintenance of these things. Tourists come in, tourists spend money, tourists spend a lot of money which goes directly to the parties but doesn't go to the local bodies. It amounts to a pitiable situation wherein the tourist agency wants the local body to provide roads, parks, shops, etc., but nothing out of the profits earned is passed on to the local bodies. So there is a lot of concern, there is a lot of debate that should local bodies be getting something out of tourism or not. And I believe they should be getting some share of the profits or some share of the spendings. This will help them to maintain the tourist facilities at a better level, at a larger level. Now next is I would say that rather the tourism industry has always been critical of local tariffs or octroi. Nothing goes as maintenance or developmental fund to the local bodies. Hence it is not surprising that they lack in taking up the tasks of tourism promotion. I would suggest that there should be certain amount of money or taxes levied for the local bodies. Tourists should not resist this. Some sort of money spending by them, maybe a minor part should go to the local bodies. There is mismanagement of the activities undertaken by the local bodies. The local bodies functionaries are neither well qualified nor properly trained to perform the assigned duties appropriately. So lack of training is what percolates into substandard of work. So standard of work is not there because the people who are assigned to do the jobs are not adequately trained enough, or maybe they are not qualified enough. So the level of thinking has not been developed up to that level wherein we may try to bring in international standards for local bodies. They lack the sense of commitment and dedication to the employer organization. Furthermore, neither the jobs are designed nor the goals fixed, keeping in view the targets as well as the social factors. All these result in mismanagement of the affairs, which leads to poor performance of the local bodies. At times, the local bodies and the state administration existing at the district or the city or the subdivisional or the block levels are not having sound workable relationships. There is a lack of trust, there is a lack of faith, there is a lack of coordination between all these state administration and local bodies, and therefore the lack of cordial relations affects the performance of both, whereby the tourism promotion also faces challenges and problems. So coordination committee should be set up between the administration and the local bodies. There should be people who are avoid of any I would say people who do not have a baggage behind, they do not have a prejudiced mind. So such type of people coming in and getting coordination done between these two important parts of administration will go a long way in helping the local bodies as well as the administration to develop that particular area and bring in more tourists. Then another factor is on account of political implications. Supposing the party in power at the state level is different than the party in power at the local level, the latter hardly gets support of the state government in developing the area. Many a places in India will see this. The local area has a local body has a different party as the ruling party, but the state government is of a different party. So they are opposition parties, so that opposition loggerheads percolate down to the local level as well, and hence there is lack of coordination, trust, faith between the state government and the local body government. So that leads to hampering in the development of the area. Furthermore, at the local levels also, when there are different political groups trying to serve their own interests, the performance of the local body is going to be hampered. Officials, elected representatives relationship. Everybody has elected representatives as well as professional permanent officials. Now often it is found that relationship between these two wings, that is the deliberative and the executive, is not as it should be. At times lack of mutual trust stands the call for performance of the local bodies. So very important that elected representatives as well as the permanent officials who are professionals in their own field should have a cohesive working environment wherein they can work together for the better performance of the local bodies. But I would say it's a sorry state that normally this is not the case. We don't have an ideal relationship between these two different factions. By and large, the local inhabitants are not involved to the extent needed with the functionings of the local bodies. No scheme can be executed successfully unless the citizens' cooperation and involvement is there. In many cases, the local bodies suffer on account of lack of such help and cooperation being involved by the inhabitants of the local area. Learners, we have just discussed about the lacunas or the reasons which leads to lack of proper functioning of or the performance of local bodies. Now we will discuss about the various measures which can lead to an improved system or an improvement in the functioning or the performance of the local bodies. So here are some of the measures, and number one is strong financial position of the local bodies. Local bodies will be in a better position to perform if they have strong financial positions. For that, I believe some sort of earning sharing modalities have to be worked out with the local bodies. Then secondly, the share of earnings of a tourist resort must be passed down to local bodies. Some sort of taxes or duties have to be levied, so that some sort of share from the resorts or the eateries or the shopping areas also go to the local bodies for better performance. And then next one, point number 3 is the sound relationship of the local bodies for having long-term perspective. Leadership counts a lot because either you are a leader or you are a follower. So if you have a good leader at the helm of the affairs, then of course the local body will be in a better position to perform. Strong and sound leadership will also lead to good cooperation and coordination among the various factions of the local body, plus between the local body and the state administration. Then active involvement of local bodies in resorts development and tourism awareness programs. So local bodies should take tourism programs, tourism development as a part and parcel of their job as such. I would go a step ahead and suggest that if every work is done keeping in mind tourism, then the entire functioning of local bodies automatically taken care of. Whatever is done keeping in mind tourism development will ultimately benefit the local society, it will benefit the local host population. So anything which is done keeping in mind tourism will always benefit the local population. And fifthly, friendly relationship among local elected representatives and the officials, because officials are the permanent professional people, and elected representatives come for a certain period of time with different factions, with different thought process, and having different ideologies of the parties that they come from. So there can be a clash of the ideologies of the officials between their professional acumen and the thought process of the elected representatives. So therefore, it's very important to have a very friendly and healthy relationship between elected representatives and officials. Again, I would like to stress here the need of a sound leadership of the local bodies to have better coordination and cooperation. Then of course, time and again I have been saying this, local bodies and district administration coordination. Then cooperation of the citizens. Citizens are the ones who elect these representatives to the local bodies. So it's very important that citizens play an important role and role of cooperation as well. Ultimately, the representatives are called representatives because they are representatives of the citizens of the country, of the local area. So they are citizen representatives, and hence their job first and foremost is the welfare of the citizens. For that, I believe citizens also have to come forward for this better cooperation. And then we need to have good relations between the local bodies and the tourist resort management. There has to be a cohesive and they have to work in tandem with each other. They cannot work separately. One cannot be a ruling body and the other cannot be a following body. They have to work hand in hand so that they lead to better coordination, better relationship, better tourism development, better facilities for the tourist, and of course greater benefit of the society in general. Then there is a point of giving due importance to environment preservation, but the most crucial aspect of any destination is to decide its carrying capacity, and this should be done by the local body. Local body should very systematically and scientifically test the carrying capacity of that particular area. Now, carrying capacity may be your physical carrying capacity or your social and your cultural carrying capacity. How much tourism is going to affect that particular place. Such professional studies should be done by professional agencies, on the basis of which the local body should decide the number of people coming to a particular area in their purview, and how many people can come and what sort of activities to be done, so that the local culture is also preserved. And of course, the environment preservation is also taking place. We do not kill the tourist destination because of mass tourism. So carrying capacity is very important to be judged. This will not only increase the life of the destination but also ease the pressure on local resources and the residents. Now, after learning about the performance reasons for poor performance and the various measurements that can be taken, we are now going to study and discuss about the Local Agenda 21. Now, as far as the definition goes, the Local Agenda 21, or popularly known as LA 21, is a voluntary process of local community consultation with the aim to create local policies and programs that work towards achieving sustainable development. A Local Agenda 21 encompasses awareness raising, capacity building, community participation, and the formation of partnerships. This section on localizing Agenda 21 is an effort to outline a 4-step process by which an LA 21 plan can be developed or improved. Data collection gathers pertinent baseline information on the basis of which future actions are based and evaluated. This information is used to develop a comprehensive environmental profile. Then planning and development is the formulative stage where the information gathered is used to develop an environmental vision. And then state the goals, what are we supposed to do, state the objectives, and of course the output as environmental strategy. Then comes the next stage, that is plan management. So in this, a wide range of activities that involve various stakeholders and the community at large are initiated. And lastly, you have the monitoring and evaluation, which takes a critical view of the actions being taken and evaluates them against a set of indicators and monitors the implementation of the LA 21 plan. The onus of implementing the key objective of Local Agenda 21 is that of sustainable development has been placed clearly on local governments and its constituent communities. The real roots of Agenda 21's success therefore lie at the micro or the local level. Agenda 21 recognizes this by pointing out in Chapter 28 on Local Agenda 21. that the local authorities construct, operate and maintain economic, social and environmental infrastructure, oversee the planning processes, establish local environmental policies and regulations, and assist in implementing national and subnational environmental policies. As the level of governance is closest to the people, they play a vital role in educating, mobilizing and responding to the public to promote sustainable development. So now coming to the main features of Local Agenda or LA21. LA21 is conceptualized in chapter 28 of Agenda 21, which was adopted by 178 governments at the 1992 Rio Conference. Agenda 21 recognized that many environmental problems can be traced back to local communities and that local governments have an important role to play in implementing environmental programs and gathering community support. The objectives of Local Agenda 21 as stated in Agenda 21 are: by 1993, the international community should have initiated a consultative process aimed at increasing cooperation between the local authorities. Next, by 1994, representatives of associations of cities and other local authorities should have increased level of cooperation and coordination with the goal of enhancing the exchange of information and experience among local authorities. Next, by 1996, most local authorities in each country should have undertaken a consultative process with their populations and achieved a consensus on a Local Agenda 21 for the community. Next is that all local authorities in each country should be encouraged to implement and monitor programs which aim at ensuring that women and youth are represented in decision making, planning and implementation process. Adoption of Local Agenda 21 is voluntary. If adopted, the Agenda 21 objectives require local governments to consult with the local community, minority groups, businesses and industrial organizations to create a shared vision for future sustainable development and to develop integrated local environmental plans, policies and programs targeted at achieving sustainable development. The consultation process is designed to raise awareness and encourage the formation of business partnerships, the formation of technical exchange programs. The most appropriate implementation method is not prescribed though, but rather the local governments and the local community agree upon a sustainable implementation method for their region. LA21 is a process that aims to integrate the social, environmental and economic aspects of development in order that all future development is sustainable. It requires all of us to consider the effects on the local economy, the local environment and the local community of every policy and project, and then to seek a solution that achieves a realistic balance. A 2001 survey by ICLEI found that almost 6,500 local governments in 116 countries are committed to or are undertaking a Local Agenda 21 process. That's a very good number, it's a very good sign. Countries with national campaigns were found to have more Local Agenda 21 participants than countries without. So, Local Agenda 21 consultation networks and processes are utilized by other environmental plans and programs such as environmental management systems. Now coming to the organizational proponent of Local Agenda 21. United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, that is UNCED, held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil from 3rd to 14th of June 1992, put forward the concept of Local Agenda 21. The International Council for Local Environmental Initiatives, that is ICLEI, has worked extensively on this issue. Then coming to the case studies and examples. First is the land use planning at Nong Khai, that is located in the northeast of Thailand. Used Local Agenda 21 to create a community-based land use planning and management process. The community in partnership with local government and other agencies developed and adopted the land use plans. Nong Khai's communities initiated the bottom-up planning approach as a result of community problems and the desire to impart local cultural and social structure to the local government. Representatives from local governments and the community performed a project team to tackle the processing land use concern. As a result, community workshops were held and land use plans developed and integrated into community development plans. Second one is the Local Agenda 21 Hornsby Shire Council, that is located in Australia. It recognized that sustainability will only be achieved if council forms partnerships with its community sectors. Accordingly, council formed the Local Agenda 21 committee, which supported community consultation, participation, capacity building and citizen empowerment. Activities of council and the LA21 committee included creating a vision which focused on community participation and achieving set goals. Then developing 8 community themes which were linked to areas of council operation and integrated with council's 8 corporate elements. Next was creating a community sustainability indicators project. A community sustainability indicators project which set performance indicators for 8 sustainability themes, and then developing a logo to represent all LA21 programs. As a result of LA21 committee and its work, community participation in local environmental activities and programs has tremendously increased. Then we come to a point where we'll discuss who are the target sectors or the stakeholders for LA21. Target stakeholders include the local government, the local community, the citizens, the minority groups, businesses and industry, research associations, regional and national governments, non-government organizations, environmental and social, and of course the civic groups. The scale of operation is implemented, LA21 is implemented at the local level. Each step is briefly explained, its goals and outputs indicated, and additional online resources included to better understand the issues and processes involved. The 4 steps are obviously not mutually exclusive and there are overlapping and cyclical activities involved. Local Agenda 21 is the process that aims to involve local people, the communities in the design of a way of life that can be sustained and thus protected the quality of life for future generations. It originates from the Earth Summit held in Rio in 1992. I just briefly told you about that, which led to the agreement of an Agenda 21 document detailing a series of strategies for action worldwide. It is highly democratic, consensus building, empowering process. It seeks to strengthen the role of all major groups in society, including children, youth and women. It sets out to develop and build a partnership between groups in the local community and to make linkages between parallel processes such as social needs, health, etc. for all policy makers. Local Agenda 21 is essentially about the quality of life, which is perhaps a more friendly term to describe its primary goal. It is a process that asks those of us in local government to work in partnership with the local community to develop a strategy comprising a series of actions, plans, which will set out how we will work together towards the goal of sustainable development in the 21st century and beyond. The preparation of a local agenda plan by local governments, whether they are the metropolis or the cities or municipalities, the councils, the towns or villages, requires a thorough understanding of the contents and processes of preparing an LA21 plan. There are essentially 3 categories in which the LA21 themes were listed and can be operationalized as we have discussed earlier. Thank you so much. This is all for this particular session. Hope to see you again in a different session. Keep learning.